Could Biden be trying to repair American ties with the Palestinians? Let's find out from Kevin Rachlin, U.S. Director from the Alliance for Middle East Peace. He joins us live all the way from Virginia. Thank you for being with me today, sir.
Happy to be here.
So relations between the U.S. and the Palestinians were extremely damaged during Trump's term. We know that Palestinian President Abbas last week rejected a call from Secretary of State Antony Blinken. Now, do you think this new funding perhaps could reopen that dialogue that was damaged during the Trump presidency?
I think it can't be we can't understate how much damage was done during the last 4 years between the relationship between the Palestinians and the United States. The maximum pressure campaign that the Trump administration put forward really did in so much intense damage that it's going to be very hard to come back from that. I think that, this administration has already taken a lot of time to reopen that relationship, reopen that dialogue, and begin having those conversations. But I think there is going to be some trust building that needs to happen from the United States side to kind of repair that relationship with the Palestinians. I see this aid, the new release of aid that happened yesterday, as well as the administration's pushing forward on the Middle East Partnership Peace Act, as steps to kind of regain the trust of the larger Palestinian population.
So what are the details of the funding, and how does it compare to what was given, pre-Trump during the Obama era, for example?
So I think, this aid is one, we have to remember that this is fiscal year $28. So this is was passed during the Trump administration, actually, and it's hard earmark money, meaning that this is money that has to be spent by the United States government, something that the Trump administration refused to do time and time again as it relates to foreign assistance to the West Bank and Gaza. They did release $5 million in aid for COVID relief early last year, but outside of that, there wasn't much of a release. But in terms of the actual dollars that are going out for this aid, it's $75 million in economic and development assistance to the West Bank and Gaza, $10 million for peace building programs via CMM at USAID, and $150 million in humanitarian assistance for UNRWA. So this is a dramatic increase in the amount of money that has gone to the region for this specific stuff over the last 3 to 4 years. And that, I think, is really remarkable, because it is not only a resumption of aid, but it's all compliant within current U.S. law, which is really important to remember.
Right. And Kevin, we still don't know much about Biden's intentions in general with the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. What do you imagine his next moves might be?
So I think what we've all kind of assumed, and what we're seeing play out in real time, is a very slow and steady drumbeat to kind of re-engage in this conflict in a nonpartisan fashion as much as they can be. It includes, having conversations with Mahmoud Abbas and with others in the Palestinian Authority. It's including seeing what happens with the Israeli election, but more importantly, it's finding new levers to kind of make an impact on this conflict while understanding that there are a lot of other issues throughout the region that need to be addressed, be it Iran, Syria, etc. And so by kind of taking a slow and steady burn approach as it relates to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict to kind of repair the damage that has been done over the last several years is really important. I think personally, the fact that this administration is going to be implementing this new peace fund vis-a-vis USAID and the Development Finance Corporation is part of that effort to kind of reestablish into a slow burn to get back into dialogue, into ending this conflict. I do think, though, one of the things I will point out is that earlier this week, they reiterated their stance on two-state solution, which is really important as it relates to where this administration kind of will be going forward from here.
Interesting. All right. Kevin Rachlin, thank you so much for joining us once again.
Thank you. Happy to be here.